come around, yeah, it's all the usual. You like to talk a big game that you ain't used to. That's that attention, need something different. Cause every time I holler like you mention who you flexing on and talking down. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. You shitting on your best friend now, got less friends now. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. Circle getting strengthened, now your friends just lie. I don't give a fuck about your vibe. Selling me your best lit lie, your best friend slide. But I don't give a fuck about your vibe, a fuck about your vibe. You ain't gotta explain. Nah, nah, I get it. You tryna do things, but you never full in despair. It's hard to exchange when you're never willing to give it. Yeah, but you know if it was real, if it was written. But everything's taken for you. Time to double up what you gotta, what you need, what you tripping over, what's your favorite things, what you willing to give up on for your dreams. What you know, what you gotta, what you need, what you tripping over, what's your favorite things, what you willing to give up on for your dreams. What you know, I come around, yeah, it's all the usual. You like to talk a big game that you ain't used to. That's that attention, need something different. Cause every time I holler like you mention who you flexing on and talking down. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. You shitting on your best friends now, got less friends now. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. Circle getting strengthened, now your friends just lie. I don't give a fuck about your vibe. Selling me your best lit lie, your best friend slide. But I don't give a fuck about your vibe, a fuck about
this
your
that part of me, all the more. I'm on a different clock, so when you speak of my peak, you should watch it because your timing off. Mine exhaust from catching vibes that I do not absorb. You have a way about your feelings that I do not endorse. Clock in, clock out, what you do for it. I'm Doc Brown on some future shit. I take the guns to the fist when the tools connect because the mic skill killer and the proof attacking my new shit, my noose shit. You can hang with me, plus your new shit, that bullshit. Watch them ghosts, will be this that news. Let's your engine fuel, learn to stick and move on my crew like the neck and close. I can't fuck with you, cause you regular, you extra. You ain't bringing about no message, I ain't present. You ain't gifted, you too shifty, you ain't shit.
I come around, yeah, it's all the usual. You like to talk a big game that you ain't used to. That's that attention, need something different. Cause every time I holler like you mention who you flexing on and talking down. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. You shitting on your best friend now, got less friends now. But I don't give a fuck about that vibe. Circle getting strengthened, now your friends just lie. I don't give a fuck about your vibe. Selling me your best lit lie, your best friend slide. But I don't give a fuck about your vibe, a fuck about your vibe.
It's all the usual. You like to talk a big and you ain't used to. That's that attention, it's something different. Cause every time I holler back you mention who you flexing on, talking down. Best friends now, best friends now. Fuck all the fake shit now.
Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. We back, y'all. We back, y'all. What's up, everybody? Another brisky evening on Sunday. A little bit later than 7, but another episode of Art School, the podcast here with S.STREET Media. You know what I mean? 1718 Collective. Big up yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's brisky. It's a little, but it wasn't like that rainy Sunday that we've been experiencing these last 2-3 Sundays. It hasn't been any of that. So everything's been pretty much chill. It's a nice fall weather, something to put the light scarf on. maybe link up with Shorty later. You know what I mean? Get your cut on, or if you're painting, you know what I'm saying? Get your paint on and things like that. Or if you're creating in general, you know what I mean? It's a perfect evening to be inside, you know what I mean? And get to work as we do always and every Sunday consecutively, and especially on one Monday, we had a special episode. My boy, the sober kid, my man Kaim Archer came through. We have another guest, and this is kind of ironic because I've had back-to-back interviews with individuals from the BX. Like, seriously. Matter of fact, I think it's been like the last 3 weeks I've had interviews with Bronx natives. Like, so we have a warm welcome. I'd just like to, you know what I mean, give a round of applause for my man Jay Stone, representing the Experience magazine. He came through, representing for the.
Hold on. Before you even go any further, let me just say, I'm actually not from the Bronx. Everybody.
Oh shit!
Nah, I'm from Washington Heights. We uptown. The Bronx is literally
5 minutes.
within like walking distance.
5 minutes.
It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Like.
I mean, so I ain't even mad. Because a lot of people would be like, "Oh, BX." I'm like, yeah, but nah. Washington Heights, uptown. Manhattan still.
Washington Heights, definitely in the building. This is kind of like a first. I remember as we continue on with how we put this out there, meeting you, the first time I was like, all right, so we're doing a shoot, and you're like, yeah, so I need you to come uptown. I'm just like, damn, nigga, where the what fucking Stop It? I was like, I know what Stop It is because I'm familiar with the hospital that's closest to the neighborhood, but I'm just like, damn, this is deep, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was the Heights. We were going about Rewind. I actually noticed what you were doing early on from seeing a Ronald Draper interview that you did. And I was just like, I'm on the net and I'm just looking at stuff. And the first time I seen it was like, who's this guy in a suit with like this mask, like a spray paint mask? And I'm just like, oh, who is this? You know what I mean? And what is this? You know, who is talking about art right now? This is, you know, I would say more like 4 or 5 years ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm just like amazed. Like somebody's talking about artists and they're like black artists, because outside of the graffiti realm, there were no publications about that. And I looked at it and I said, oh, okay, this is cool. Who is this guy? You know? So I started investigating on who Ronald Draper was. And then I started going, you know, through the articles. And I'm like, well, who's writing this? You know what I'm saying? And how do I get on? Because I want to, you know what I mean, not only showcase the work, but I want to know who's doing things like this, because it's nobody to me at the time was actually doing anything like that. Where did that actually begin? Because I know it's just not like a pop out of the blue type. You going into wanting to do magazines or even a publication or editorials or any of that. But where did that come from? Because I just thought it was like an enthusiast, like an art enthusiast just wanting to get into the game. But then when we started, it was like, I'm reading what your interview questions and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is somebody that's intrigued by the artwork and documentation. So how did that begin for you?
Well, I was always into art, so I've been an artist like my entire life. And I was doing graphic design work in high school. So like I'm self-taught in graphic design. I went to college for graphic design, got my bachelor's, didn't really learn shit while I was up there. I mean, I did learn what would end up being the most important program in design that I use today to lay out the magazine. But it wasn't until I was in getting my master's, and one of my classes, the final project of the class was to create a self-promo kit. You could do anything you want as long as you're promoting yourself. And at that time, I was interning at this bougie white magazine called New York Arts Magazine. So by that time, I already known that I wanted to do a publication. I just didn't know what I was going to do as of yet. So like the very first issue of the Experience magazine is a self promo kit on me. Like issue 1 is about me, totally about me. I need to talk more to Mike. All right, yeah, issue 1 is totally about me. No one will ever see it because it's like doesn't even exist no more, kind of thing. And at that time, I was coming into my own as like, like a black man and like what that meant, like here in the United States and all that shit. So, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do a magazine. I'm gonna do an arts magazine, and it's gonna be just about like artists that I like in the city. And hopefully, at the time, my goal was I'm gonna do this compulsively so that somebody like at Complex or Fader sees me. Like they like, I want to get this guy to do like the design work. So that was what the mission was. So at the time, there was really no focus to the Experience magazine. It was just I'm featuring artists.
Okay, so rewind, right? You said that you didn't learn too much in high school about, in college, I would say. You didn't learn too much about what were you looking to learn in school, as far as what you don't know prior to today?
What I was looking to learn, I thought I was gonna learn some graphic design shit. Like I thought they were gonna teach me like how to become a better graphic designer, like how to use these programs the way they're intended, quote unquote, to be used and all that. And I was very disappointed. That when those 4 years were up, it was just like, wow, like I literally everything that I might have learned when I was in college, like I already knew when I was teaching myself in high school. The only takeaway I got from undergrad school was InDesign. My master's program was a lot more like intricate, even though it wasn't shit either. But it's a master's curriculum, so it's a little bit more. There's more to work with in that realm. But yeah, when it came to like undergrad college, it was just like wow, like those 4 years in terms of what I went into for, it was a waste of time. Like you learn, especially when you're coming to your own as like a conscious individual. You're just picking these up along the way. Like wow, like I'm not learning anything based on what I'm here for. If anything, I'm in a predicament where this is the first time I'm in an environment solely around like white people. So it's like now I'm learning how to navigate in this world, and like that's what I got out of undergrad, like being around people that I'm not normally around and how to live through that, and being a black guy in just a very towny upstate, just isolated like area.
So there were no professors that gave you any type of light that you seen while you was in school or anything, whether it was undergrad or graduate?
In grad school, no. There was like a couple of professors that like I look back on and I'm just like wow, like especially because like I feel like I don't have like really like a lot of mentors or any mentors. My grad school professors were really those individuals that they saw something in me from like whatever, like 22, 23. Like they knew like I was gonna be somebody that's gonna do something great. So they would always like encourage like a lot of my work, and they were very hands-on with my master's thesis and what I was trying to do, because my master's thesis was a lot different than everyone else's master's thesis. So they already knew, they saw it. But undergrad, there was just not no professor that I can go back to and be like, yeah, that nigga right there was, he meant something to me. It was just like a waste of time.
So part of what we do here at our school, right, is we try to we work on giving those who have given us a little bit of that Mario key. When he puts it in, it's like, boop, what I mean, for our ideas and creativity. And we like to give them a round of applause while they're still here. So let's give it up for those professors in that graduate program that gave you some type of energy, whether it was mental, whether it was, I don't know. But it's important that we give them those type of, rounds of applause. You probably know them by name. You probably shoot them an email or something after this later. Who knows? I don't know. But what we do at art school, we recognize the professor, right? Don't we? We let the professor know, hey, man, we appreciate you, whether if it's junior high school, elementary school. Like I said, one of my favorite teachers was Mr. Acevedo, and he was actually into photography. You know what I mean? But he always kept me in the dark room, like, yo, I know you like out there gang banging and fake playing basketball, and you know what I mean. You're a little handsome guy and all this other shit. He had like the slick back, and he always wore like suits that were like plaited and shit and things like that. But he always said, "Yo, Matt, yo, you could paint, bro. Stop this graffiti shit and writing your name all over the place. Put that energy somewhere else." You know what I mean? I didn't take none of his words though. Fuck it. I was in the streets, son. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I mean? Plus, I'm going to gladiator fucking school. Oh, excuse me. That was 3 curses. Math, man. Come on, man. Give me. Math normally is like, yo, you know what? That's fucked up, man. Don't be. Oh, see, that was 4. See?
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to stop that.
Chill.
I'm trying to stop that. Within that, though, we want to give them their roses. So shout outs to those professors for your graduate program, because, like you said, you didn't have any mentors. Now imagine going through your graduates and you don't have any type of that. That would have really damaged. I feel like those are the damaging parts in the educational system. You know what I mean? So we have the Experience magazine.
Yep.
Jay Stone, you know what I mean? When we were putting this together, he was like, yo, could you put my name on it? And I was just like, I already had it set out because I already wrote you down to be a part of the show very early from the moment Matt presented the idea. I said this every episode, like, Matt was sitting here, he's like, yo, once you do this, I guarantee you, I came up with the name as soon as I got down to the hallway. But before I even got to the name of the podcast, I said, these are the people that I want to talk to. Because in the university, right, we have to talk about the publication. We have to talk about the aesthetics of design, whether if it's fashion or it's the architecture. Like, you know, we have to talk about the visual. Then we have to talk about the dancer. And we, you know, because it all plays a part into what we're doing. And we are the ones that are documenting history, like we spoke previously. At this point right now, I honestly think that you have documented some of the most up-and-coming artists, or some of the big artists now in this time, man. How'd you get around to being a part of? Because I'm from East New York, bro. I don't really know how the hell we really got linked up, but through this art. It was like, boom, you know what I'm saying? So how do you navigate? How have you been able to navigate into this game?
Man, you know, I feel like part of it was like luck, but also it's just like the universe puts you in places that you're supposed to be at a certain time. So initially, I had a hard time finding artists, but like this is before Instagram was like what it was. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was doing the Experience magazine, when I like started like the early years, Instagram wasn't really popping like that. So you know, I was finding artists who like Tumblr and just doing like hardcore like internet searches, just like, all right, I gotta find like at least 3 or 4 artists. And then around like 2016, that's when like my trajectory just went up all of a sudden, because like a lot of it was like a lot of grassroots, and it was like really hard work that no one was really paying attention to. And then so it's just funny when you mentioned you came across it through like the Draper interview, because that was early on too. And in 2016, I came across like, you know, these art parties, and once I came across the art parties, you know, I was now involved in the art community. Like now I knew there was places to turn to, because once I found one art party, there's just like there was other art parties. So there's places to go, as opposed to when I just felt like I didn't have nowhere to go. So that's how I got involved with the community. And then, you know, once I saw that opportunity, it was just like, I gotta seize it. And my plan was to always do a show, like a really big art event. So, you know, I came up with the idea of the Sunrise Kingdom, which was, in my eyes, it was going to be a 5-borough tour, art tour of like these specific artists. Because initially that was the plan. It was going to be the same artists, the same 20 artists. We're just going to be a traveling art band, wherever it is. We're going to go to every borough, bringing black art to every borough. It's going to be this big thing. And it started off in the Bronx Museum.
By the way, the timing was off. I was fiending to get a part of that. because I never heard nobody saying they're putting on an art tour, right? Because I didn't hear you say it verbatim, but I understood your vision. Like I seen it, and I was like, yo, boy is really traveling to these to these museums. You're thinking about like spaces, like you're doing stuff in like Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Nice areas, I would say. Got the opportunity to work with you with that. And then it's like museum play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're killing the Bronx Museum. You're killing the Bronx Museum. You're doing a whole bunch of things in the Bronx Museum. And then it's now you're going to the Queens Museum, you know, and not to break your, you know, your way of telling that story, but I just found that to be very phenomenal that a young black man was in the city trying to get black artists, whatever sex, whatever gender, no matter what, into a tour, but then the tour be within the museums, which is like the plight of the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like we always want to go to the museum. We really, that's how, like, man, I had the opportunity to be a part of the Queens Museum, and I brought my little sister there. And I had my other sister there, too. And I'm just telling you the idea, and he's like, yeah, man, I fucks with it. Let's go. And my sister was so impressed by what was going on, because she was like, I never seen a black guy in a museum, like, put this on. She's, you know what I mean, she's 15, 16 at the time. And I'm like, yo, man, so, you know what I mean, round of applause to you.
Yo, thank you.
For sparking that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
For sparking that, bro, because, like, how did you get on that path?
I mean, I'm always forward thinking, so it's like, you know, we deserve, and then it's also that revolutionary spirit. It's like we deserve to be anywhere we want to fucking be. Like, you can't tell us we can't show work in a museum. You already block us out from showing work in a museum. So when I have that opportunity, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, and I'm gonna take it. So, you know, the Bronx Museum fell into my lap, and I was just like, oh shit, like. I didn't exactly see that coming, but, you know, when it happened, I was like, all right, this is my moment. So that was the very first Sunrise Kingdom, and that was like big. Like the max capacity is supposed to be 275, and we drew 300 like people. Like there was people hitting me up the day before, like, how did we get tickets? I seen that sold out. I'm like, it's a free event. Like, you had to RSVP. That's how you get in. And so the fact that you missed it, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Better hope that people don't show up. I had to change things around to kind of open more space up. But that was like a big moment for me. That was kind of like my welcoming moment, like, into like the community. Like, that was it. Like, now people knew who I was. So the follow up to that was, you know, like, now there's all eyes on the magazine now, because people knew about it, but now everybody knows about it. So I followed it up with the spring issue, which was based on black women's empowerment, because this is when I started doing themes. So now I started playing around with what I wanted to do with the magazine, because it never used to be theme centered. It used to be just random, like, black stuff put together. Now it's like just this like cohesion to it. There's stories behind it now. So that first issue, I knew for that year, like, which was last year, like, I knew it had to be something. So the cover, like, I had in mind was the De La Soul joint, the 3 Feet High. And, like, I knew, like, I wanted to do something based on that for, like, spring and, like, black women's empowerment. And it just so happened that, like, I came across Rocio Marie, who at the time I didn't know her. So, you know, when I met her and she was down to be featured, and she was down to be the cover person, because I never had a cover person. So this was the first too. Came across the right, like, picture of her, because, like, I didn't take the picture. Like, we tried to take a picture, it just didn't come out the way it was intended. Then just, like, a picture just came up. We got the photographer's permission, designed it. It was, like, literally, like, the best cover I ever did.
That was print? That came out in print?
The demand for it, like, there was a demand for, like, there was always a demand for the magazine to be printed, but, like, once people knew who I was, and then once that issue came out, it was like, it just, everything just happening so fast.
Yeah,
like,
for the entrepreneur out there, man, for the entrepreneur and everybody that's tuning in, and, you know, another episode of Art School, you know what I mean? I'm here, it's your host, your baby moms. Here with S.STREET Media. Shout outs to 1718 Collective. We got Matt in the back, engineering, and pointing at me about my cursing today. Did like 5 bloops on that. Excuse me. That entrepreneurship and that spirit that you have to put that in print. All the major magazines were like kind of going, digital and things like that. And that was another thing that I said, well, this is not just somebody that's putting out a magazine that is just going to be featured online. He's actually thinking about documentation and like actual paperwork. Because I always tell, and I always ask this question with people that have like 2,000 or 3,000 pictures in their phone. I'm just like, what if all of this crashes? Like, where's the physical, like, you had the book with all the pictures and stuff in it. They might not look the best today, but they're still here. Where are we able to do that as far as the art world is concerned? Because I used to work for an online magazine too, and I thought about, like, I'll from time to time go back online and try to like Google, you know what I mean, old episodes to see if I could use certain things for content, with what I'm doing today. And I'm just like, well, damn, it's not a lot of it. And somebody actually actually did buy us out. Not me.
Wow.
Yeah, but they just bought the name for the website that we had. And I'm just like, this is like early on internet where it's like booming, where people are actually like, oh, your website is down? We like the name of it. I'll give you $5,000. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And you just take that in. Right now, that's something that's really important, you know what I mean, that I see in the game. Do you see anybody else out there that's doing prints that
no.
Or any publications that
I'm just gonna keep it very brief because I'm not about to be shouting out mad niggas because I don't know mad niggas need a shout out. They don't deserve a shout out, so I'm keeping it all the way funky. But the only publication right now, and they're pretty new, that I've been peeping, and I'm like, yo, that's dope. It's Spicy Zine. It's primarily for like women of color and women in the LGBTQ community and whatnot. And but they're the work is dope, and they're about to gear up pretty soon to drop their first like printed zine. So shout out to them, but that's about it. Yeah. No one else is gonna get that. But it's crazy that you even mentioned the whole like me printing mags because the mags started off as online only. I mean, it's still online primarily, but it started off as online only because one of my professors, one of my very first master's classes. As soon as I walk in, one of the very first things he says was, print is going to die soon. So if anything you're going to do going forward, you might want to do it online. And I was just like, wow, okay. True. So that's why the magazine started off online. True. But like I said, like there's been such a demand for like people to have physical copies of the magazine, especially the artists and it's people of color. Like it's us. So everyone wants to see themselves in a magazine in a time where they probably wouldn't even think that they'd be in a magazine. For a lot of these artists, they'd be like, "This is my first time." And I'm just like,
you know how crazy that was? Like, I scrap. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I scrap, y'all. Yes, I'm an old head, and I'm a young old head who's raised by his grandmoms, and to do certain things, I would just like keep all my documentation. So whenever I go out of state or whatever, I'm like, if I'm in a cab and they got stuff from out of state, I'll take that. Yup, I was over here just to do it. And I'm just like, yo, you're really putting out like I'm helping you put down this and, physical material. And I just wanted to say thank you, man, because that really helps when it comes to like, tuning up our ego a little bit, not gonna lie, as the artist, or just say, hey, we were a part of something, and I have something to show you. Actually, you know what I mean? So
you can show like your nieces, your nephews.
Yo,
like,
bro,
I'm in a magazine. You can be in a magazine too. You don't have to wait for some white man to tell you you're hot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're making us hot. You're making us hot right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, seriously, because there's like not too many people that, like you said, that's out here that's doing that. So we want to shout you out for that too, because that's love. Again, we got my man Jay Stone here, the Experience Magazine.
What
Yo,
up?
it's your host, your baby moms, math in the back, engineering. Yo, what was the first song we played? Cause people be
July Quinn vibes. Where you at, July? Shout out
yeah,
to July
you could
Quinn.
jack our playlists on that. That's what people be doing. They be jacking our playlists because we always have the Rap City in the basement exclusives. Yo, Mav, we got another tune them. You know what I'm saying? S.STREET Media 1718 Collective. We here, baby. Holla.
What's nasty? What up?
I try to forgive and forget, but I cannot let it go. I knew
Uh, uh, mm, Who was that? Who was that we were just playing? JM? Oh man, she's becoming a fire. She's got more hits, more plays on our shit. I don't I don't know if my headphones is on though. I think yeah, they might be. I don't know. It's my probably. But so we're back again, right? We just took a little small music break. Yo, shout outs to JM for always dropping some jewels and like music vibes and things. Yo, y'all could jack the playlist because we know that's what y'all doing anyway. Everybody that's tuning in at S.STREET Media, you know what I mean, live on Ustream and stuff like that. We here with Jay Stone from the Experience magazine, and we were over the break. We were just speaking a little bit about the museum aspect, and before the break, we were speaking about the museum aspect, and you know what I mean, your endeavors going into that now is like you were mentioning that you wanted to, you know,
And Brooklyn Museum was definitely on my radar for the second Sunrise Kingdom, but at the time they weren't doing art events. Like I couldn't just put on an art event, which is why I ended up using 5 Miles in Brooklyn. But the plan is to at some point have an event in the Brooklyn Museum. So
oh, that's gonna be fire.
yeah,
That's gonna be fire. I actually had the opportunity to show some work off at the Brooklyn Museum with another collective called Museum of Impact. You know what I mean? Shout outs to Monica. She allowed me to show some work, and it was the first time that they actually allowed artists to put work on easels in the museum. I was the only one. I had Orange is the New Black, like shot chart thing going on, just representing for those that are incarcerated in the industry that comes behind those who are incarcerated to us, black and brown people in America. And they was like, yo, you know, we really don't allow this. We don't want this. And I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. Whatever, you know, it's rocking. And so many people were around the piece that they didn't have no other choice but to actually leave it there. They was going to take out the piece that was so powerful to say, yo, you know what? Nah, there's too many people looking at that. You know what I mean? I think that's part of the exposure that we need because a lot of our work is saying things out here that's
yep.
speaking on the racial injustices that's going on out here and women empowerment movements that's going on that's very strong right now. And your magazine actually speaks a lot about that. Is that just what the Experience magazine is about, or?
Well, the Experience magazine is about highlighting up and coming Black, Brown, Latinx artists, emerging artists in really across the world. It's not limited to New York City, especially in the age of the internet. You can reach anybody, anywhere. So that's primarily that focus. It's like it's for us, by us, featuring only us, and we also, you know, we will give you, you know, that necessary but fresher take on, you know, social political things that are going on, and what seems to be like the rising consciousness of our own community, which I mean I was already on this wave before it became a trend to be quote unquote woke or whatever it is. But yeah, but you know, so that's what it was. I think the aspect of the fact that you see a lot of, you know, women's empowerment, or Black women's empowerment to be exact, within the magazine or, you know, even on the page, that's just it's a product of just my environment. You know, I've always been surrounded by strong Black women like my entire life, which I feel like has been like it's been actually a blessing when I really think about it, because it's molded me. It's helped mold me into who I am today.
For sure.
So every stage of life, like, you know, starting with my mom, grandma, and my aunt, it was them. Yeah. And then, you know, we just gonna skip high school years because that don't count. But then when I got to college, you know, I was surrounded by a lot of women. You know, and then even now I'm always surrounded by a lot of strong, like, just women. So I listen a lot, I know a lot, and it plays out, you know, through the magazine.
Speaking of the strong women's movement and strong women in general, same here, grandmother, all that, everybody's super strong. We do, you know what I mean, our book reads, and No Disrespect by Sister Soldier, right? Ladies, please, if you're tuning in, please, okay, check this out. We also have the seven spiritual laws of success, Deepak Chopra. Check this out, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Feed your souls.
Yeah, feed your souls, because it's not always just about the mental. It's about your soul, you know what I mean, and getting that going. And then we have The Art of War, which is a good read right now.
That just started that one.
Yeah, Sun Tzu, you know what I'm saying? And then we got that E=MC² by Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? Decoded, you know what I mean? Einstein, my mind, MC. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, my son is crazy, you know? And part of what I was actually bringing the books up for, not just for the Sister Soldier, and no disrespect, but that was just something that's, like I say, with the publications, you know what I mean? And I had a lot of books growing up, you know what I mean, just around me. Whether if it was like school books, you know what I mean, like anatomy books and things like that, the whole nine. So shout outs to everybody that's out there that's tuning in and that's reading books, man. Read some books.
No, facts.
Get some good women around you, strong, powerful women around you to help you, because I would say this, I mean, besides yourself and very few others, I could count them on my hands. Like, I could count them on one hand. Most of my support and most of the people that have put me into places have been some strong women. So, you know what I'm saying? We want to congratulate y'all for keeping this going and things like that. You know, it's important. We love you. We'll take care of you. The Experience Mag definitely speaks about that. You know, I always see you around. Like, I'm looking at your staff, and it just be seeming like it's a whole bunch of powerful women around you. You know what I mean? When you put things together, you know what I mean? I'm looking at that all the time. I'm like, man, some be having wild, you know, like, first introduction is like, some be having wild things, because I'm a guy. So I'm just like, he be having wild things around him. But then I'm like, hold on, I'm a professional. Nah, he got strong, powerful women around him that's into their own things, but they're also coming together to, you know what I mean, go about and achieving the mission. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's perfect, and I love that.
They all know what the mission is. So they all willing to, you know, to help and by any means. And it make me a better, not even just a better man, just a better person. In how I just handle every situation, and it also just keeping me like intact with, like, you know, especially for a black man, like your inner femininity, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because like, we're not just masculine energy. We have both, which is like, I think, well, it's hard for a lot of niggas to like
into that,
tap into that shit.
Like, yeah, like,
you
when you,
so,
it's hard, and you know. It also takes a strong woman to be able to acknowledge that when a man is, you know what I mean, expressing that side where he wants to express himself, and it's like, yo, I'm just expressing myself. You know what I mean? You don't got to take this big-ass 4x4 and hacksaw Jim Duggan over my head and shit like that. That shit is not cool. You know what I mean? We have Jay Stone in the building. You know, we're here again with another episode of Art School, and we're talking more about the magazine and your endeavors and how you got there. You know, we've spoken about the museum. We've spoken about, you know, just the upbringing. How did you get so connected to the Bronx? Because you said that you weren't from the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm not from the Bronx.
You have that's why I say, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's a common thing that people be like, yeah, Jason from the Bronx. It's because, like, I'm very connected to the Bronx. And I think a lot of that is just because of my first big intro to people was at the Bronx Museum. Like, that's first Sunrise Kingdom. So people always go back to that. And then the very second event I did, which wasn't the Sunrise Kingdom, but it was another event I did, was in the Bronx too. So, you know, who I was dating at the time was from the Bronx, and, you know, a lot of the artists I was connecting with were from the Bronx. So it was just organic like that way.
You're helping the community out, though, man. The Bronx is looks real sad at times, you know. I'm not going to front. Like, the Bronx still sometimes looks sad to me, and I'm really upset when I see a lot of things. But then there's some nutty shit going on in the Bronx. I'm not saying
that's outside of, you know, the community's control. Like, you know, like just the whole gentrification and, you know, the quote-unquote development, which is really genocide.
Yeah, yo. Shout out to my man Maniac that just walked in the building, and he's going to walk right in front of the camera like he always does, right? Because that's just Maniac. And what's that, spare rib tips?
No,
Came in here and ate a bag of spare rib tips. Yeah. So we're speaking on, you know what I mean, that Bronx, and you, like I said, you're a breath of fresh air when it comes to a lot of things. Because even as an artist, like, I used to live in the Bronx, low key, right? Had a little ting up there, 207 for a hole. No lie. Last stop on the D, I'm deep out there.
Oh man, I know what that is.
Yeah, I didn't even like painting out there. Like, I didn't even like the fact that I was really like on some street shit because that shit was so deep. And I'm just like, nah, you know what? Fuck it. You know what I mean? These places look a little bit too desolate for me. You know what I mean? Now we got the, you know, the gentrification and all that. And
Yeah.
that's a 3 hour.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, with
but,
that.
Yeah, but my whole mission, well, part of my mission now is to bring more attention just to the uptown area, which is the Bronx, Washington Heights, and Harlem. Like, as an artist that's been in this like, for a couple of years now, a lot of shit happens like Brooklyn. Like, it's really just Brooklyn. So we got to go from uptown all the way to Brooklyn. And I'm just like, yo, you know what? I'm going to start bringing these Brooklyn niggas all the way uptown. And anybody else, you lower Manhattan, you got to come uptown. Because uptown is where it's at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's starting with the Bronx, and then I'm going to bring it to Washington Heights. I'm going to bring it to Harlem. Like, I'm going to really make it my point to, like, conquer, like, uptown. In which, I mean, the whole plan is to conquer everything, but now I don't mean that in a malicious way, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no.
There's gotta
You
be
wanted the
somebody.
takeover, the wait's over.
Word.
God MC, me, J Ho.
Or, you know, there's gotta be, you know what I mean? The Experience Magazine, the bigger goal, you know, we are a revolutionary movement. It's not just a publication. It's a whole thing to it. You know what I mean? The publication is the first aspect of it, but you're going to soon see trickle-down effects of other little things I'm trying to do. And, you know, it's really about just unifying the entire diaspora in the city. You know what I'm saying? So that's the bigger plan in mind, and it's already in effect, and you're going to see pretty soon, in probably a couple months, you know, that there's going to be something that's very big going to happen.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was very hesitant just to come up there because it's just a lot of travel time. But I encourage those artists from, you know what I mean, the town, Brooklyn, Queens, wherever, come on out and spread your wings because it's important. It's really important to spread your wings no matter what the situation is, because you're able to you know, step over a little boundary, or, you know, how it's kind of, because Brooklyn, it's kind of like we got everything now, especially with everything that's going on. It's like, there's no real reason to leave Brooklyn. If you want to do shows, you could do them in Brooklyn. You want to meet writers, you could be there in Brooklyn. You want to go to the movies, Brooklyn. You want to do this, ice capade, skate, whatever, you could do it in Brooklyn. But you still see those same people, and it's just like, you know what I mean, reaching out to the Bronx, reaching out to those or whoever, wherever, is important so we could do more episodes like this.
Yeah.
Because if I was to stay in fucking Brooklyn all day, then I'll be regular, especially being from the east of Brooklyn. So it's like, you know, excuse me, East New York, because y'all over there want to change signs over there on Pickett and talking about it's East Brooklyn. No, it's East New York.
Oh, no.
Yo, disrespected us. Yeah, man. You know the big sign? You know the big green sign? Yeah, man, that say Industrial Park. It says East Brooklyn. So we not with that smoke. You heard? Cut that bullshit out. It's not going to happen. Like I said, Jay Stone is in the building. The Experience Magazine. Halloween and all that other stuff is coming up. We don't really talk about that. We talk about the work that's going on with the Experience Magazine. So you said it earlier. You said this is gonna be your last interview of the year. You going on a hiatus.
The industry made me this way. Nah, but I mean, I'm naturally just to myself. You know, I like to be behind the scenes. So I mean, and when I finally like arrived on the scene, you know, I was literally behind the scenes. Like, I put everyone else in front. But it's only so long that you can be behind the scenes, because the people in front aren't the ones that are like, they're not doing like the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's behind the vision and who's behind like the actual aesthetic and the look and design of it. And then when you open it up, you see a lot of it is. I mean, it's me. Like I'm primarily. I'm the lead graphic designer, so that's a given. Like I'm designing front to back, cover to cover. Like that's it. I'm doing a lot of the interviews. I'm doing a lot of the photo shoots. Like it's a jack of all trades. And like once I got more known, I was able to get help. And contributions and people that want to write or people that want to shoot for the magazine. But it's still always primarily me.
So that's what you got that's uh, going on. So you're taking a hiatus to put on what you got going on. That's under lock and key of what you got. You don't want to put that out there, anything like that. Okay, no, that's okay. I ain't mad at you for that. You know, some people want to talk about their stuff that's coming up. That's just something that you gonna just have to tune into it. Just wait.
Just know. Yeah, I'm always working. I'm never not working, even when it seems like I'm just been ghost. Like it's just a product. It's just really just a mindset of like I see a lot of things, and I'm not really inspired or motivated by a lot of what's already going on currently. I kind of feel like we were a part of a big art boom. I want to say 2016, 2017. And then 2018 happened, and it's been relatively quiet in the New York art community. What's happened actually has been these grassroots, community organizing groups. They've really come into the forefront. Like Hydropunk or damn, they don't even like come off the top of my head right now.
Project Even.
Right,
I know a few. I know what
yeah,
you know
what I'm saying? So a lot of these organizations that are more focused on community building and things like that, they have now taken the forefront, which I thought was very interesting. But and art took a backseat, and that was kind of already my trajectory coming into the year. I was like, the magazine has two personalities. I mean, it all stems from me, but there's the art personality, and then there's like that revolutionary aspect of community building and uniting people together to take on for all of us to see a common enemy that we kind of don't see. And it seemed like the community itself took on that same path. Now, I guess naturally, and we were talking about that earlier. It's like what we see now is kind of like, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so with that being said, I haven't seen a lot of artists that I thought were very interesting. I haven't seen a lot of interesting artwork, and that's not like a diss. Or I mean, if you take it as a diss,
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And, maybe you should open your horizons and work harder.
Come with a storyline, and that's something that we actually talk about when we're, discussing the schematics of the art school itself. Like I said, it's university I'm trying to build here. I'm working on building a university, you know what I'm saying? Where we have every practice, every discipline come in and express themselves and talk about the art and talk about what it means to them. A word from the wise, I should say. Artists out there, it's okay. Do your thing, but make it a story. Make it relatable. Have someone, like do something that you've seen before, but make it yours. And try to do that as much as possible and stay consistent with it. We really appreciate you for staying consistent with the amount of content that you have, too. That's another thing. It's about, I see a lot of these community organizations, and they be here and they get their grant check, and then they be going after 2-3 years. They like restaurants. I've been in the game for a little minute, so I'm just watching all these restaurant organizations just come in and be like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then they disappear, and the mural comes up, then it goes back down. And then the mural comes back up, and then it goes back down. Or it gets redone by somebody that is, I'm not going to say that skilled or not that talented, but it doesn't reflect on the base the base of the space where that mural could be, or that pop-up anything.
Yeah, man, and shout outs to the artists that I feel like are really, really serious out here.
You want to give them some light real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna shed some light. If I don't mention you, don't take offense, or do take offense. Shout outs to my homie Fudge Nasty out here.
What up, Fudge? What's up, sis? How you doing, baby?
Yo, I think is the best artists out here, like best, not even kept secret, but the work is powerful and there's a lot of like meaning to it. My man Julius Pearson, he's my favorite color is master of the fucking drip.
Trip drop.
Right, my man Math.
Regular.
Yeah, right here. You know, I don't gotta say much. Black Cat Nina. My man's Dilson. Yeah, there's and Solaris. Yeah, like just a serious artist who's really trying to do, just trying to move up, and their work is it's substance. It's not portraits. It's not fucking shit that just like you walk by on a regular day. Also, Amina's her name is Amina's Hair, on IG. Yeah, I'm only trying to just deal with serious artists because we're artists, and this is our occupation. It's not like we just do 9 to 5 and we're stuck in the matrix. We are artists first. Yeah. So if you're not trying to be an artist first and trying to do big things, and you're just complacent and you're doing these pop-up art shows with these group shows and these house parties, to be quite honest with you, I left that in 2016. I don't really fuck with that no more. So
Step your game
up.
That's what we're going to say here, you know what I'm saying? Because what you got, freshmen, then you got sophomores, then you got juniors, then you got seniors, right? In our school,
Gino, what up?
We got, and
DJ
then we got,
Gino, what's good?
We got deans.
Pink bandanas.
You feel me? Like, we got deans. What else we got in school? You got the assistant principal. You got those that work in the office and all that. It's levels to the schooling, y'all. So we're not saying that you can't, or you won't be a star, but you just got to understand that you still got to be a sophomore to be a junior. And then you got to be, you got to get out of school actually to, work in the school. Like, they ain't going to have nobody that didn't graduate that working in the goddamn. Well, matter of fact, you might. You might.
Niggas slip up. They let that one slip up and like.
But he or she is normally at the after school program where it's limited to 3 or 4 hours with the kids because they're not going to have you around them kids for 8 hours. Got to hear with that, We got Jay Stone here, The Experience Magazine. We've been talking about some great books, some great reads that everybody could tune into. It's really important, like I said, keep reading, please.
Please read.
Please read.
The 7 spiritual laws to success.
Yes.
Learn about your highest self. Learn about your lowest self. Learn how to navigate through that. Learn your self-love. Learn the disciplines. It's important, especially if you're an artist, especially in this city. You need that self-love. And stop looking to Instagram for validation because that shit's fake. That shit's not real, bro. Like, it's not real. All these niggas that be on Instagram high-fiving each other, acting like they best friends, and then you see them in real life, they don't got nothing to say to each other. Really? Like, yo, fake love is in abundance, and we shed that fake love. We don't do that shit. Don't come to me with that fake love. Don't come to me saying I love your work. You don't know me. All right?
It's been a nice October.
Appreciate you,
something day. It's like 20.
What is it? 28th.
28th? Yeah, 28th. It's been a nice brisk fall. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. It's been wonderful. Yo, any shout outs? Any way that they could reach you?
Yeah.
How we gonna do that?
You can reach me via IG, Stone Immaculate, like the Currency album, right? Yeah. Or you can just go to theexperiencemag.com. Yeah, check us out, man. We're under construction, but we'll be back because I can't leave y'all alone. Apparently,
no.
Well, my mission is bigger than me, so
yeah. So it takes a little time. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we here, Art School, another episode. I forgot.
Shout out to Math, Art School. What's this,
know.
episode like 8?
Something like that. Yeah, it's building, man. It's building. Next, I'm gonna get my man Ronald to come up here. He's an actor. So we're going to be talking about some acting stuff, you know what I'm saying, and all that good stuff. So bringing in the school of all trades.
And if you were a serious black artist, holla at me. We need a serious black artist. We need a black collectives. Yo, we need some black like male like collectives because they ain't really a lot of those in New York City.
Nah, not at all.
So if I got to make that happen too, I don't mind, but Definitely, let's like collab, please.
Holla. Yo, S.STREET Media, 1718 Collective. Yo, it's been another one. Yo, Sosa, what's up, man? Yo, send no flyers, man. I hit you on IG earlier. Stop playing with me. Yo, love you. Yo, Math in the back, like, yup, it's ready. So, yo, we got another tune them and all that good stuff. Yo, we appreciate y'all. Peace.
I want it all. I'm fascinated by it all. Fly shit, money, clothes, and diamonds. Multiple whips and cribs. Extended clips, niggas with big dicks. Reefer imported, we all want it. To make a fortune, a few mil, I'm talking. Spit that shit, record it, cook them bricks, deport them. Eager to afford it all, cause I'm used to not having shit. Fuck with me, what I'm after. No less than 6 digits. Big business, what you think this is? In it for the gram, but would've had it much sooner. But loyalty is thin and intention is thick. When drama's lit, settle it. All black, full metal shit. Sinning with them devils when I'm heaven sent. I want it all and become a little arrogant. I need my clothes tailored and I need to be catered. Yeah.
Hey, I want it all. The bands, the plays, to getting that money in different ways, to wildin' and allin' on different days. The cribs, the cars, the envy from your favorite stars, all types of paper from Paris to Mars. Doing what I feel just like God.
No more Mrs. Nice Guy, no ribbons in the sky, there's no reasons why. I can't stack money ceiling high. Build business, the Lord is my witness. I'm on the road to riches, yeah. Reminiscing of our dreams and wishes. Went from free lunch and meal tickets to the 4 seasons on any given. No reasons but in Vegas every weekend. Living what we've been dreaming, we fucking survivors. From the way they describe us, criminal minded, blinded by these project environments. Now we make profits, bank in our pockets. We flaunt it every chance we get. Spend, but we never get spent. Went from being shipped in chains, we stay dripped in chains. Pushing rovers on an open range. I want it all, including dollars and change. Ambition and gains, live it out until the end of my days.